I guess, to be able to look back over my life and see. I can really see the providence of God. I can see the hand of God in my life from the time I was a kid, running from Him, to the time I am at now, and ran from God a lot. Knew at an early age, at 12, that I was called. My grandmother interpreted a dream to me that I had been having, that I had never told anybody about. She just, bam, hit me on the couch like, "You've been having dreams?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Mm.
grandma." And she went on to tell me about this dream that I had been having that I hadn't told anyone about. She told me what it meant, what God was saying to me.
Wow.
And I looked at her like she was crazy. I was like, "Grandma, I didn't say this to her, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm high right now. Like, I'm literally, like, I'm high. Like, I had just finished smoking a blunt,
Oh, snap.
and like, I'm high. I would always smoke and then go find my grandmother. No, what was wrong with me? Why I did that? But she was a safe space. Like,
Mm.
if you know anything about getting high, you get paranoid, and everything looks like something else. But when I was with my grandmother, no matter how high I was, like, I was able to be calm. And I know now, looking back, it's the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit in her life, calming me and bringing me back in. But I ran from it, and but now here I am, and people see you now. They see you and hear what you say. They hear you talk. They see the things you do. And sometimes it's real easy for people to assume that you've been that way your whole life. But if I went down the list of things that I've done in my lifetime, um, people would see, how much of a miracle it is that I'm sitting here, as a preacher, let alone a pastor. It's a miracle that I have one wife. It's a miracle that I have only two children. When I think about how promiscuous I was and the things that I was doing, um, and if I have kids that I don't know about, it's not my fault. But I don't like to make a joke out of it. But I sometimes I feel that that shoe's going to drop. Someone's going to come like, "Hey, I'm your son. I'm your daughter. If you out there, hurry up and come let me know, because I want to spend time with you.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel
it's
you.
not, man. It's not my fault because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm sure. I hope by now someone would have said something, but but people have a way of looking at your life, and they think they know how much money you got. They think they know how many problems you got, and because I'm smiling and I'm laughing, I'm joking. I don't wear my life on my sleeve. If I did, people probably would be more worried and concerned about me. So
Mm.
I just try to focus on what God puts in front of me to do, whether it be speaking to one person or a crowd of people. And I just try to stay there. So that's how I got. That's how I ended up where I'm at now. And I think that now I'm really strong and solid in knowing who God is and knowing who I am in God. It was one thing to know who God was, to come to that realization, and that realization that I will never truly understand or fathom who God is. Right? He's just too vast to understand. But to understand who you are in
Yeah.
God, to be comfortable in my skin, to know that I don't have to be like everybody else, because I'm different. I minister different. I talk different. I relate to people different. I'm just not like the average. When people find that I'm a preacher, they be like, "You're a preacher," you know. And I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but
That
they
is a
always say
good
they know.
thing. You're man relatable.
Yeah, they say, "Well, I know it was something good about you." I didn't know it was
Okay.
that. And I'm like, "Well, why are you so surprised?" And like, I'm not cussing, I'm not swearing, I'm not, whistling and making cat fake calls to girls. I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not doing any. I'm doing none of those things that would say that no way I could be a preacher. Everything I do is about making people happy, comfortable, sharing the love of God with the world. And that's all I am. And that's why sometimes it blows me away when people say, "Oh, you're a preacher." I'm like, yeah, maybe it's the braids. I don't know.
I
It could be
think
anything.
I think probably people are not used to it feels like you're too down to earth to be
Mm,
you know what I'm saying, like to be a, so it's like when you like I'm a pastor, it's like like I could see how that would be surprising because there's not like an air of I'm better than you.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Or like I'm here and you know what I mean? I think people are just used to it. And not to say that people in ministry are always like this,
right.
but I think that when somebody, people have an idea of what it is to be saved and they don't feel like you can be a regular person.
Right.
And
That part.
so, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, what? you like football, like you know what I mean, like you like or just just doing regular things and can just be a genuinely good person. I think that takes people by
Yeah.
surprise sometimes. But I want to say, um, because you had said earlier that you grew up in church and that you had people in your family in ministry. So like a lot of us, we grew up around church and still feel a disconnect.
Hmm.
Um, was there a season in your life where you knew that you knew God but didn't really have a relationship with him?
I mean, I think for me, what it was I knew God, and because of my family's track record, I didn't trust myself to be the things that I knew God was calling me to. I was like, I always ran. First, I was running because I just didn't believe it. I don't want to do it. The last part of my running was, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to let God down. It's too important. Being a pastor, being a preacher, being a Christian, it's too important. Too many people looking at me. I know a lot of people. Like I touch a lot of lives, and I have a little bit of influence, and I don't want ever to be the one that causes someone to be shipwrecked because of something I did or said or didn't do or say.
Yeah,
So for me, the beginning I was running for that reason, and the end I was running because I just didn't want to take the weight. Um, but now it's it's different now because I understand. And guess what? I have messed up, and I have dropped the ball, even as a man of God, even as a preacher, even as a husband. Did a lot of things and said a lot of things that are not what someone who calls himself a man of God or a Christian would do. Someone who calls himself a husband would do. I heard somebody describe me as being faithful to one wife, and all I thought about in the moment was like, dude, you have no idea. There was a period in my life where, I was out here,
yeah,
even while I was married. And it's nothing short of a miracle that my wife and I are still together, and that my relationship with my children is still strong. I don't talk about it as much as I used to because,
hmm
when I first came back into the church, I used to talk about it a lot. And then, but then I didn't want that to be my identity either.
yeah,
I don't want, and I don't think anyone should want their past to be their identity. What for me, my past is like my North Star. It reminds me that I'm human. It reminds me that I'm fallible, but then it also reminds me that no matter what I do or where I go, God is able to redeem me, and pull me back. And that's the light that I want to shine. I want people to see hope that no matter how bad life has gotten,
yeah,
um, it's not over. You can recover, hence the name of my church, Restored. It's like that's my life restored. My marriage has been restored. My walk with God has been restored. My life with my children has been restored. My life in my community has been restored. My life in the church and the brotherhood has been restored. And God just kept saying, restored. And I want to help people who feel like it's over and they've lost everything to realize that they can be restored and then be redeemed and then be reconnected and then help somebody else in that regard.